we wound up, we got a cat. We didn't get a cat. The house came with a cat. We were just there. There's a cat. Yeah, it was out. We weren't even sure the cat was real at first because it was fucked up looking. It looked, there was some real Pet Cemetery action. Covered, scrub brush, and just it's missing some ear. Had like David Bowie eyes, you know. What are you looking at? Everything? Nothing? What's going on with you? It always just appear from around structures at first. There's always one of these. It took us about 6 weeks before we admitted to each other that we saw a cat. I remember she said at first, like, you see a cat out there? I'm like, you see it too? All right, thank God. I was getting nervous. I thought we had hobgoblins. I don't know. I'm new to the Pacific Northwest. I don't know what's going out there. Everything's just fog and ferns. I don't know what's crambling around underneath there. So the cat seemed like it was like friendly. It wasn't like friendly, but it was like hanging around us enough. And so we're like, well, maybe it belongs to somebody, so we should find out before we start messing with it or feeding it. So we took some pictures of it, and we went door to door to see if it belonged to anybody. Also, probably a short-sighted idea on our part. It's, pandemic, global, social distance. Hey, here's the new childless, out-of-state people going door to door like, is this your cat? And people are like, get the fuck away from my family. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. The old guy next door answered the door, but the chain's still on the door. He was just like, oh, that cat? That's nobody's cat. No. That cat there, that cat belonged to the earth. Yeah. That cat come up from the soil when the sun go down. And just roams amongst the mist, just eating dreams and shitting out nightmares. That's what that guy... Man, just say it's not your cat, old man, all right? I don't have time for folklore. I got other neighbors to harass. We found out from another neighbor that cat had actually been like a neighborhood stray cat for about 16 years. That's how far back they can remember. There's a stray cat that for 16 years has just been living on the streets of this neighborhood, working off the goodwill of the place. So we're like, this is our cat. Fuck it. We're taking this cat in. So we got the cat to come inside. This is our cat. We named it as much as you can name a cat, let alone one that's been doing its own thing for 16 years. It's mostly just for reference between us, So at first we were calling it Helen. We thought it was blind and deaf, so we were calling it Helen. You know what? I didn't name it that. My girlfriend named it that. So you're not mad at me. You're mad at her. And yeah, I will throw her under the bus, making me beat off at her dead mom's room. Yeah. All's fair, babe. She's calling it Helen. I was calling it Dirt Nap. That's how I was calling the cat. On account that it sleep all the time and was filthy, but also it looked deceased more often than not. That cat looked like it had perished many times. Like, oh, cats sleep weird, but like draped over a curb, under a car tire, just with its eyes open, looking at nothing. I walked up to it with a shovel more than once. It was like, well, this is a sad day, and it would just run off. I'm like, oh, look at you. Look at you little crisis actor. You got an agenda, and I don't know what it is, and that's what I like about you. You're mysterious. A little cross-eyed ghoul. So yeah, Dirt Nap, Little Dirty, Little D. We'll be calling her Little D for the rest of the story. Also be referring to her as she and a her. We thought it was a female cat. Turned out it was a neutered male, but we didn't find that out until later. So Jenny Nooch for gender neutral is the name for some of the time. And then for special occasions, we call her Miss America. And by special occasions, just when you could say something truthful that it's more funny when you could be like, man, Miss America shit on the couch again. And if you can time that out right for when like a new mom is walking by an open window, they're already against us, so maybe as well just feed them. What are they doing to that future beauty queen in there? We got this cat, and we brought it in. We're like, we're going to give this thing the best sunset years we can give it. You know, we're going to pamper it. First, we took it to the vet, make sure it's all dialed in. We took it to the vet. And right away, the vet was just like, oh, it's got a thyroid issue. It's thyroid. It's got bad thyroid. It's got to be on a special diet, very special. It's a prescription diet. There's prescription cat food out there. Why? Who's trying to get the cat food that's not, okay, man, hook me up. Hook me up with that Hill's prescription, man. Like 5 cats in a trench coat rolling in, like, hello, we're here to pick up for Mr. Meowser. Trying to make that cat meth, dog. Come on, man, come on. This is a prescription. You can only get it from me. It's $70 a bag. I'm like, all right, you know what, man? I know it was middle pandemic, and I was all about the doctors and the scientists, but the veterinarians, I just think some of them, they know they got that giant gray area of your lack of knowledge that they can abuse about the animal kingdom. Like if you go to a doctor and you're like, my ankle hurts, and they're like, could be an ear infection. You're like, well, you're bad at your job. But you go to a veterinarian with this animal that you love but can't communicate with, and you're like, oh, what's wrong with my best friend, my little guy here? They can just say anything like, it's the alternator. And you're just like, yeah, I get it. You know what? That makes sense because his eyes were dimming in the morning. His eyes were dimming. That's a 2003 Calico with a lot of miles.